Um, fellas, NBA action. A lot of stuff going on in the NBA. And as a Lakers fan, start off with the man King James, excuse me, all hell, King LeBron James, new scoring leader of the NBA. Um, this is a big moment, right, fellas? Surpassed the king, surpassed the captain.
Didn't think I would ever see it. You know what I mean? Like that number, just, because to play 20 years and be that consistent, I didn't think I would see it. So it's, incredible.
And to think this is coming from somebody that shouldn't even be in an All-Star game, according to one of our guests on the show.
That was not
in the All-Star game.
That's not.
I mean, he shouldn't even be a consideration for All-Star. Like
fake news.
They gave him a mercy selection.
Fake news.
I'm not.
I mean, shouldn't affect an all-time accomplishment, though. And for one, we were there in 1984, so we had the luxury of seeing Kareem, or not. So seeing two people break it, I think, in our lifetime is special just for us. Put it that way. For the ambassador, for which I think it is now, LeBron James, I don't think it could have had a better representative than him, actually. So I'm actually happy as him. And I wasn't the biggest LeBron James fan. He had to grow on me, pause. But, congratulations. Well done. Unfortunately, it was in a loss, but I guess that comes with the Lakers nowadays, But you couldn't give as much praises as he's deserving. Single, we all know the story, single family household. Everything was pitted against him to come to succeed in general, but he has surpassed expectations from high school and beyond. So, congratulations and enough respect to the king.
And I also want to mention that he's fourth all time in assists at this point. So he's top five in two different categories, just in case, you wanted to check why he was an all-star. I'm just saying.
No one cares about dimes and dishing.
I don't think people do.
No one cares. No one cares. No one cares.
Where's he at with championship rings? Where does he rank with those?
What does he have? 4?
Kyle. He has 4, Kyle. More than
he has 2. He has 2. He has 2. He has 2 that he won, and he has 4 that he has.
More than John Starks, more than Allen Houston. Little things.
LeBron James has multiple. He has multiple. He has, like I said, he has 2 that he won and 2 that he was a part of.
Wow.
So 4 altogether. And he's the all-time leading scorer. That on his resume puts him as top 5 greatest players to ever do this. He's the number 1 scorer, but top 5 players to do this in the game.
Do y'all agree with that? Kyle, I see you looking kind of. You agree with that statement? Is that
he's deserving
statement?
top 5? He's deserving top 5.
Look, I don't know about
conversation.
I don't know about deserving top 5. If you want to put him in your top 5,
top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, top 10. Top 10.
Top 2.
Easily.
What does he have to
easily
do?
Top 10.
Top 2. Yeah.
To do to be in the top 5.
Top 2. Top 10. Are you kidding?
Not lose a finals. That's 1. Have more than 2 championships that he won. That's 2. That helps, right?
What's his finals record again? What is it?
4-6.
I believe so. 4-6, 4-7, 4-6, 4-7.
And with
2 and 6.
I look. I think he's definitely deserving of being considered all-time great.
Absolutely.
This record that he just broke. I think in general we don't really hold basketball records in high esteem. It's not like breaking the home run record. I mean, that's a record that's kind of held in high esteem. It's not like breaking the all-time rushing record, or the all-time passing record. I don't, I think it's pretty cool that he's the all-time, NBA scoring leader, and then there's the discussion of whether he's considered a scorer or not.
No.
At the end of the day, with LeBron, it comes down to championships. All of that other stuff is just dressing. It comes down to championships, and that story is closed on him. That story is closed on him. You'd be lucky if he gets back to the playoffs. So I'm sorry.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone cares about records in general, to be fair, because I don't care about the all-time home run leader. I don't care about the all-time stolen base leader. I don't care about the all-time RBI leader.
But it was a big story. I mean, when Bonds was chasing it, when Sosa and McGuire were chasing those single season records, those were huge stories in the
because
media.
I think there were stories that were made to be, because baseball would seem to be the all-time pastime for this country. I think for some odd reason, basketball has always been seen as the stepchild, and before Bird and Magic, had it, and then they put it together. I think America loved basketball then. I think basketball has started to take a shift more towards people feeling being more politicized, so it's put on the back burner. And baseball's just lost luster. That's the reason why I guess America hasn't embraced baseball as it has before. But I think basketball, it's not like the 80s, put it that way, in which when Kareem broke the record, it was something. You know what I mean? People love basketball. And so when LeBron did it, LeBron is such a polarizing figure that he was more, not despised breaking the record as opposed to it being something bigger than as it should have been. This should have been more of a celebrated thing. But the era that we're in, it's not. So that's the reason why I don't take, I don't think I ever took statistics as a big thing anyway, until it was pushed on me to say that it should be something big. I don't think I ever cared.
Yeah, I think it's a huge accomplishment. I mean, he scored more points than anyone in NBA history. I just can't, sweep that under the rug. But I think also it shows like his consistency. You know what I mean? Like, he has like over 35,000 points, 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds. There's not a list. He is the list. Like, he's the only one to accomplish that. And honestly, as much as I say this record means a lot, it didn't really change for me where I rank him all time. And to Kyle's point, to me, the reason I rank him where I rank him is that I feel he led a team to 4 championships. To me, that's the crown and jewel in his career. Yeah, he was the best player on a team that won 4 championships. A lot of dudes don't have that. Well, I'll put it that way. You know what I mean? And that's why I ranked Jordan number 1, because I feel he led, he was the best player on the team that won 6 championships. So that's kind of how I view him, like the longevity, the statistics, only Kareem and Wilt could even touch him when it comes to totals. That's it. You know what I mean? No one else can really touch him. But for championships, then you have, your Magic, your Kobe, Russell, Jordan, or whatever. But this record really didn't change where I rank them all time, to be honest with you. As great as a record that it is, as great as accomplishment that it was, whoever he was before the record, I think he is now. So there's really no difference for me.
Tim Duncan was the best player on a team that won how many championships?
I would say
none.
No, I would say like 3.
None. None. He was the best player on none. That won no championship.
Because I think
everybody on that team was totally equal.
That last one, he clearly wasn't the best player. That's for sure.
In that series.
Not one.
In that series.
No,
not
on
one.
the team.
Not one team.
In that series.
No.
In that series.
No. We're not talking Finals MVP. We're talking that regular season. He was a good player. He was a cog.
I think absolutely. I think Tim Duncan was just as good as any other player on that team that won 4 championships. Tim Duncan was okay.
I think that we have to give LeBron a little bit more credit for his consistency, especially you consider, I think there was 6 or 7 straight years where You couldn't go to the finals without seeing him. And there has to be he dominated the Eastern Conference at one point, where nobody was going to the finals if they didn't have LeBron James on their team. You know, and I think that has to say something. It might not hold as much weight as, hey, Jordan being undefeated or Bill Russell having 11, you know, coaching 2 of them as a player coach. But I think it should afford him an invitation into that discussion about who's the greatest of all time.
Right. Barno Celtics team, though, I think going through the Celtics, Knicks, Pacers was a little tougher road for Jordan, no offense, than what he had to go through in the East. And it's not his fault. Okay. It was just his era. But I thought the East was pathetic when LeBron was, you know, doing these accomplishments. But he can only play who he played. That's not on him.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
As far as Kareem, is he still in the conversation? Being, hey, second in scoring, third in rebounds, 4 championships, right? Am I right with that, Hill? No, 5.
No, 6. But what he has, like 4 MVPs though, right?
6 he has 6 regular season MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, 4. And 6 championships.
All right.
Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not at all. Top 10, right?
Top 5, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people getting pushed out of that top 5.
Oh no, he needed that record. He needed that record.
No, he's second all time in scoring and third all time in rebounds. He has the most MVPs and he has 6 championships. What is he missing?
Top 5, right?
What is he missing? Somebody let me know.
Nothing. He's top 5. He clearly is top 5. Enough of the games he is. He's clearly top 5. He's clearly top 5. I mean, his career. I mean, his career is better than Bron's.
It depends.
His career is better. Is he a better player than Bron? I'll say yes to that too.
I would say at best he led a team to 4 championships. I don't know, at most, because those last 2, he definitely was not the best player. I saw
no.
Yeah, he was definitely not the best player for the last 2.
Should we even be comparing the different eras and players from different eras?
Probably not. We discussed that. Probably not. Probably not.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun debate.
But not right. But not right.
Yeah, there's no way that you could, ever, really have a serious discussion about it.
Yeah, it's
fun,
like you said, though. Fun, but not right.
It's more for you're just comparing accomplishments. Like, I don't know what Wilt will do now, and I don't know I got an idea what LeBron would have done then, but I don't know for sure.
But do we really know as far as, because in the previous discussions we talked about how the rules changes affected gameplay. For example, hey, the defensive changes that the NBA has made has allowed more spacing, has allowed more freedom of movement, especially when attacking the rim and stuff like that, as opposed to Kareem's era or even Wilt's era, where, hey, there more physicality was allowed in the game. So with that in mind, is it like, can we even compare the 2 eras because they're working under different rules?
I mean, you it's the eye test, right? Like, all right, Kareem and Wilt played in a different era, but they're 7-2. 7-2 in the 60s and 70s are 7-2 now. Like, Bam Adebayo, good luck. Like, you throw out a 6'8" censor against Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem, I think they'll be okay. You know what I mean?
But if you take the rules out, like, say if you had the rules back then, 60s and 50s, that you couldn't dunk, then Shaq's working at a Dairy Queen. LeBron's working at a Dairy Queen.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because
I mean, I mean, they just can shoot. I mean, they could pass well, I guess. But what are you giving me?
Hold on, because Shaq had to play against the zone. Kareem, Bill, Wilt, they didn't have to play against zone defense.
Shaq had to play against his zone, and when Shaq played against his zone at LSU, Shaq was on the bench. Like I saw it.
But I think Shaq. You have one guy guarding Shaq down on the post. That's food. That's food every time.
I saw Shaq play in the zone. They did defend it.
No, I'm talking about
Shaq. A lot of his
career
was on.
I'm talking man to man. I'm talking Shaq. If he was playing back in those days against man to man,
not allowed to dunk.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't need to dunk. Shaq developed an offensive game, later in his career.
And it was bad. It was bad.
Touch around the basket.
It was watchable. It was bad. It was bad. And it was bad. And it was bad. If you're going off the fingertip jumper or the fingertip thing off the glass, you wouldn't want it. Trust me, you wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want it. It is. Listen, he was so dominant. We take his dominance for granted. But if you take away his most prized possession of the dunk, it would be very difficult to watch. And 9 times out of 10, you probably wouldn't be watching it because he would have 3 fouls already. Shaq's aloof. And I love Shaq. He's the second greatest player. But he's very hard to watch. Guys, we saw him play.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I think it doesn't take much for him to get to the rim and just, instead of grabbing drop it in. Like, it's not.
You would think. You would hope. You would think. You would hope.
It's going to be that big of a deal.
You would think and you would hope. But apparently it's not that easy for regular 7-footers. And I think if you take that aggression when she turns around, and then a turnaround into aggression into a dunk is a follow-through of emotion that you haven't going into it. We all played, rim lowered or not, you're going into that. Going into it and then just letting some of that aggression go to a drop-down layup, it's kind of different. I saw Shaq miss layups when he's thinking about doing a layup. So if he's going up strong and has to take that out and turn into a finger roll or a drop-down, I just don't know.
So let me ask you, who do you think would be more successful, Kareem and Wilt in this era or Shaq in their era? It sounds like you're saying not Kareem Russell, Kareem and Wilt.
I don't think it'll be close. I think they'll be better in this era. Kareem and Wilt in this era would be dominant. Excuse my language.
Yeah. I think Wilt would be a problem this era, and Kareem. Skyhook. Nobody's doing interior defense anymore. Maybe a interior defensive stopper, or a paint stopper that's protecting the rim nowadays.
Now, I agree.
Gobert.
I think Kareem,
that's who Kareem will have to play against. Gobert would be his challenge.
No, I agree with both of you. I think Kareem would do, but I think Shaq would have been okay. Kyle, what you think?
I think Kareem and Wilt would be food out here in today's basketball. I mean,
there's no possible way. It's just
no.
I mean, yeah.
The
problem with today is you don't have any carnivores out here to eat them. I mean, you're thinking that it would be Giannis would be the one you would think would eat them, or
Joel Embiid.
The previous.
I don't think so.
Hold on, Joel Embiid is a 7-foot guy that can handle the ball.
Dude's on foot.
And he doesn't like being in the paint, Kyle.
Dude's on food now with them. Dude's on food now with him.
Nobody plays that traditional style basketball anymore.
Yeah,
and Wilt and Kareem would introduce them.
Even Joker, steps out, handles the ball. These guys can't do any of that. They would be fooled out there on the court.
But you have to understand.
Oh, you mean defending them?
You have to understand the era they came up in too. Like when Wilt played basketball, his point of reference was, God bless his soul, was George Mikan. And Wilt was 14 years old right now, and he says, "Oh, I could do that." Jeez.
Well, yeah. But that's the question. Could they
I don't understand what you mean by. I don't understand what you mean by food. Or you mean like on the defensive end?
Yeah,
with Embiid and Jokic. The funny thing is, here's the funny thing. Wilt was food in his era. I'm just saying from an offensive standpoint, Wilt would dominate. But Wilt was getting torched in his era, bro. Wilt was great at it, but Wilt didn't care about it. Wilt was fool with regular players.
Yeah.
Again, even with look with the new rules, I don't look at a guy like Rudy Gobert. Offensively,
Right.
he's very limited because he can't do anything outside of the paint. I mean,
Right.
I just don't know how effective a player with that skill set can be in
Right.
today's NBA.
Whoa. We got to stop though, because Rudy Gobert doesn't have anything in the paint. You understand? Like he doesn't have post moves. So you can't compare him to Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They actually, when you give him
from an offensive standpoint, they go
he
crazy.
doesn't have a move to go. You know what I mean?
So,
it's different. Like he's tall.
Yeah, look, I don't. Yeah, I'm just saying in general. Look, they don't make players like Kareem and Wilt anymore. Like that's safe to say. They don't make guys like that. They probably don't even draft guys like that. You look at a guy like DeAndre Ayton, who was the #1 overall pick. Phoenix has trying to get this guy to stretch his game out beyond the arc. So I just think guys who don't have that ability are very limited in today's NBA.
So Shaq would have been fooled.
In today's NBA, I think he would have.
But what about that touch that we're talking about that he had? Like, what about that outside touch? Maybe it developed past 14 feet.
He's never had that.
No,
he'd have been fooled here too.
Right.
He'd have been fooled there. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
from an offensive standpoint, they would have dominated.
I think it comes down to coaching. If you have a coach that's committed to giving Shaq, Kareem, Wilt the ball, then everybody else is fooled. But if you spread it out and you ask them to be perimeter players, yeah, they're going to be less effective.
And then let's not forget the pace of the game is much faster. I mean, is Kareem running up and down the court with the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah, just as good as Joker. If Joker, see, this is the only thing. I think Joker and Embiid are the two most skilled centers ever. And
it translates to nothing.
But when you say they're food or whatever, they're not dominating now. They have no.
That's what I'm saying.
They have no championships now. So at least I know.
But it's a team game.
Dominate their era.
Right.
But it's a team.
Right.
It's a team game now. Hold on. Basketball is a team game now.
Absolutely.
Joker and Embiid dominate. Let's not say Joker and Embiid.
No, but
they put up numbers. Dominate means no one can stop you. They get stopped every year because they've never won a championship. They get stopped.
Their teams get stopped.
Okay, but
their teams get stopped.
If you're the best player in the team, that's on you. Make your team better. Drag them if you have to.
Hold on.
And it's happened in the past.
Right.
You can't say that it can't be done.
Hold on. How many?
It's either they're dominant and they're great.
They're not LeBron. They're not LeBron level.
Well, then they're not dominant. So then they're not
dominant. Hold on. So unless you're LeBron level, so unless you're LeBron or Mike, you're not a dominant player.
No, Giannis had a dominant playoff run. Why didn't they? Because they're not dominant. I'll give you Giannis because I've seen him do it. But you can't tell me, these dudes dominate. They're not dominating. Who are they playing against now?
Well, you got to think about Denver's deepest run in the playoffs. He was the second best player in his team. That's why I said he's not dominant. Like that run that they did was Jamal Murray's coming out party. You know what I'm saying? Like the years after that, Joker took over now after his injury, which he had to. But I think that team runs better actually when I think they go further when it's ran through Jamal Murray. I've always said that. And having Joker as being the second dominant player on that team, with his run through Joker, as great as Joker is, and he is the #1 option on that team,
I'm gonna say great.
It doesn't equate to them going further as opposed to having the ball in Jamal Murray's hands dominant wise. But again, that's coaching. We'll agree to disagree. But what does stand out is that they went further, be it the bubble. Okay, great. But
they haven't had a healthy team.
Show me anything.
They haven't had a healthy team since the bubble.
They haven't had Jamal Murray healthy for me, period. I mean, whatever you feel about Michael Porter Jr., that's fine. But Jamal Murray, to me, is that team. Him and Joker, it's that team. If Joker's that guy, he should be able to take him far. That's just how I feel. They
By
haven't
He's to
gone
the
himself.
conference
They haven't
finals.
gone to a conference finals without Jamal Murray. He's not that guy either way you look at it. Those guys do that.
Yeah, I can't call somebody
Period.
dominant
I mean,
that never won a chip. Like
no, dominant are guys who can do it
that
on
can't
their own.
that
Period.
can't be stopped. Like if I stop you, how are you dominant? That doesn't even equate. Like you're dominant putting up numbers. You're good on fantasy basketball, but actual basketball, you're really good, but you're not dominant because you got figured out.
They have a great team, but yes, they want to hear Steph Curry is a dominant player. They have a great team, but Steph Curry is a dominant player. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
is LeBron still a dominant player?
Right now, no.
I gave you that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But not now, right? Mo.
I mean,
And that's what I said. Hey, I have to admit that. Like, hey, whatchamacallit? He's not able to drag the Lakers to where they need to be. Point blank. Period. They're not in playoff contention at this point.
LeBron hasn't been dominant. LeBron hasn't been dominant since 2018. To be fair, he hasn't been dominant since 2018. That bubble championship was a culmination of him, Luck, and AD coming out party. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get that again against AD, but LeBron is dominant was 2018, and anything after that was you've seen his decline.
Is KD a dominant player?
Never was been. Never has been. I've always argued that. Never has been. Never has been. Never has been. Never has been and never will be. I've always said that.
I mean, because you know what? He had an opportunity to prove that with the Brooklyn Nets. Whether or not he was that player.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He had one time to do it and he failed. And that was against LeBron when he was at OK City, which I thought he took that team on because I thought he had no talent and a baby Harden. He had no talent at OKC. Harden was coming of age. That was his chance for Kevin Durant to be dominant. And he failed, and he told me that he'll be a bridesmaid throughout and let anyone else drive the bus with immense talent and going from there. So that's his career for me. And yeah, I mean, I'm fine with saying that.
I'm looking at Tatum. He could have done it last year if he was dominant.
So there are no dominant players in the NBA right now.
Steph Curry.
I would say Steph and Giannis. I would say Steph and Giannis would qualify, in my opinion.
Kawhi?
No.
Oh God, no. What?
To be dominant basketball, you have to play basketball. So I don't even count him.
And you gotta get Kawhi a very good status first before you get to even great. So let's go there first.
Oh man, I love this conversation, fellas. But let's leave it to the people. Hey, hit us up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit that notification button to let you know when the next video is coming in, or hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. What do you think about LeBron's place in basketball history? Do you think it's fair to compare the different eras? Are there any dominant players still left in the NBA? Hit us up. Let us know.